Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have a very nice looking, the design of it was what got my attention. I really seldom does just a pure piece of glass really turn me on. Usually it needs to have some advertising or some cool element to it, which I think this qualifies. Now, I didn't know at the time. First of all, there is a chip right there. And when I made the video the other day, I was trying to figure out what it said, and I was trying to read it from the other side. Anyway, it is SAFEX. It's the brand. And when you look up SAFEX ashtrays on eBay, you'll find a few things, and that's several of them that are advertising models where it might have a painted depiction here in the basically ash area, the basin part of it. But this particular design, I believe, or one very similar to it, must have been in the movie Blade Runner, because there were several listings that referred to Blade Runner. The coolest element to me, the fact that it has 3 rests on each side, while also being relatively low profile. A lot of times to get that many slots for a cigarette, cigar, cigarillo, whatever it is that you are burning, you are going to have to get a cigar size ashtray. Well, this is more what I would consider a small ashtray. Not tiny, but small. And then you still have all this room in a relatively small space. Three on each side that you could have rested. So you could be sharing this ashtray with 5 other people and nobody feel like they don't have their own spot at the table. And then you would still have some spots out here on these corners where somebody else could join you and not feel too pinched out. It's a nice looking ashtray though, regardless. It sort of to me resembles the head of a guitar. You wouldn't have the proper number of tuners out here for that to make sense, but just kind of, you know, at the basis level, maybe on a cartoonish type scale, to me resembles the head of a guitar along with its tuners. Had some trouble getting some buildup off of the inside, and it looks like maybe some of it is still there. It's marked top and bottom in a flip direction. SAFEX, SAFEX. And when you look up that brand, I've found some other products. I can't remember what they were though. May or may not have been the same company. And there were examples of these ashtrays on eBay that had sold, similar ones to this, just a plain, no advertising, that sold in the last few months in the $20 to $25 price range, which to me for an ashtray seems pretty good. Especially for something that looks like it's pretty common, at least among the places that you'll find antiques and that kind of thing, at least from the number of them that are listed on eBay. Like I said though, a few had sold. It wasn't like they were just listed. A few had sold for good prices. And ashtrays are something that I don't typically pay much for. I'm not usually willing to spend as much for an ashtray as I would be a lighter. For one, because I'm not usually looking to flip the ashtrays. I'm usually putting them to use. But they're just kind of novelties and fun to me, so I guess you could say that I collect them. I certainly have a collection of them accumulating. But I don't typically pay more than about $5 for an ashtray. Just because it catches my eye and looks like I can use it, then I'm willing to pay about $5 for it. Now, there's one guy there's a Facebook lighter group for ashtrays, and I don't remember which lighter group it is, and I don't remember his exact name. It's something like $1 Randy, and he says he never pays over $1 for an ashtray. But then he did post one a while back where he had to admit that even though he had told him what his name was, he had to pay more than $1 for it. So I don't have a hard and fast rule of $5. I'm certainly willing to pay more for something that's really cool, or something that might, I don't know, just really catch my fancy, or one of my themes. If I recognize it from my childhood, that always makes it more desirable to me. Makes me willing to spend a little bit more. It's a pretty nice piece of glass though, and it is unfortunate that that one corner is chipped, but I can't even find it right at the moment to point it back out to you. There it is. It's a pretty good chip out of it. Like I said, unfortunate, but not a deal breaker for a $4.25 ashtray on the first time that I had been into that particular vintage market. Until next time.